Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Danjo BF161DU. This is a hole filler is what it is. A very typical and common piece of equipment. It's used to blank off a 2 1/8 inch hole. Very likely most typically used to blank off a deadbolt would be my guess. It's less common to blank off a lock or a latch set or a lock set. And here's what it looks like outside of the packaging. It's basically three components. It is the exterior plate, the interior plate, and the interior plate will have the third component go through it, which is the probably 1032 machine screw would be my guess. It's pretty simple and straightforward. What happens here, you just screw these two components together. You'll notice that there are some dimples that are here. Well, they're on the other side naturally, and the dimples are meant to seat into the small half circles that are at 3 and 9 o'clock on the lock prep, assuming that they're there, which they would be if it's a factory original sort of lock preparation. It wouldn't be the case if you had a door that was drilled for, let's say, a deadbolt in a shop, and they just drilled a 2 1/8 inch hole. In that scenario, you might need to get in there and flatten those dimples off so this plate will sit flat. But that's not typical to have to do that. This is going to work on doors that are intended to be, of course, 1 3/4 inch thick. When it's barely put together, it gets out to close to 2 inch, and that's going to thread. That's going to thread down to about 1.5 inches. So it's not going to get to 1 3/8 inch thick door. So 1 3/4 inch. This is made of steel. Okay. This is in a DU finish, which is Duranautic is what it stands for. They call it a dark bronze finish. Sometimes they even call this oil rub bronze, which is a very fast and loose application of the term oil rub bronze. This is nothing other than powder coated bronze type color. Bronze, really. It's powder coated. And why you would want this color and hole filler is because you're trying to, in the least distasteful way, remove some hardware but still match everything else that's happening. Generally, a hole filler will be in a prime coat finish, just typical gray primer. But Danjo makes that material in other finishes, and we'll go over that. Intended to block off or to fill off a 2 1/8 inch hole. The OD of this item is about 2 5/8. Let's switch to the screen view. Let's take a closer look at all the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, here is our hole filler. Let's take a look at the images that we have posted down below. There's the packaging or the box label. That's what one looks like. Contents of the package. You can really see that there's evidence of powder coating here. A very durable means by which to paint something. Assembled. Showing the exterior. The reason that's the interior is because you don't want someone with a screwdriver just to get up and remove that. So that's why we call one inside, one outside. Extended description information down below. Covers up to 2 1/8 inch hole, 2 5/8 diameter, made of steel Duro-coated or Duranautic. There's a template here. Gives you the dimensional properties. Indeed, that is a 1032 thread. Brass plated, prime coat, and silver. They don't have the DU listed here. This document's 23 years old at this point. 17 years old at this point. It's not unusual if that's just not very accurate. Upper right-hand corner, they have gauge. That's just going to be a reference to the thickness of the steel. And my caliper tells me it's .067. Why is that important? It's not. It's not important, unless, of course, it is important. And an example of why it would be important is if you're going to try to mount something over this, then you probably want to know how thick this is. But generally, you're not mounting anything over this at all, and I'll touch more on that in a moment. There's a link to the product catalog as well. So if we were to search for BF-161, we're going to bump into finding the evidence of the BF161s. And what I was referring to earlier about mounting something over it, if you have a door with a cylindrical lock prep or a 161 prep and you're going to install a rim-mounted exit-only exit device there, you will need a hole filler, but you need a modified version that's clipped at either end to put a panic device head case over it. Otherwise, it doesn't fit down as well. And not that this is the perfect hole filler to use for a rim-mounted exit-only device application, but they are modified to permit you to get that exit device installed down flush with the face of the door. Other hole fillers are here. They have one that's up to 3 3/4, the 135, 1.5 inch. If you have a B160, 460, 250 lock set, or any lock that takes an 1.5 inch hole, that's the hole filler for it. Other plates and other conversions are here as well. Let's just get back to the top of the catalog. Hole fillers, conversion fillers for hollow metal doors and frames. Fillers for frames that were prepped for an electric strike at one point. Packages of that material. Reinforcements for hinges, strikes, anchors, tabs, glazing bead pipe anchors, steel, an L-shaped spreader bar and then a U-shaped spreader bar. I've used both of them. Who knows how many? Tens and tens of thousands of them. Doesn't really matter which you use in the sense of, you know, you're just tacking the frame together. I like the U-channel only because they're a little bit thicker, which means you have the propensity to booger up the bottom of the frame with spitting weld at it if you're not very experienced with welding. The U-channel, if it's thicker, might be easier. Regardless, I'm sure the gauge, yeah, it's all 16 gauge, so it doesn't really matter. I do not find a difference between using U-channel or L-shaped because you're really only welding it at one point. You're not welding it on the backside as well. That would probably keep the frame more rigid. But you really just want to keep the frame together during transit. Full sleeve, half sleeve, full sleeve reinforcements. A couple of different sizes here. If you're using a 4 3/4 jam, you're going to need a narrower unit here. The soffit dimension is smaller on the CR275 versus like a typical 5 3/4 or larger. This reinforcement will allow you to attach to drill and tap your closer into a hollow metal frame for regular arm or top jam or parallel arm. Flat plates, if you know you're doing one only, then just use the flat steel plate. Don't use the sleeve because the sleeves are a lot more expensive. Temporary locks that you can padlock together. Signage is in here as well. Now there's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Danjo products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website as well as a link to the full product catalog here. That full product catalog is also broken down into several subsections of catalogs. If you know the name Danjo at all, you do for latch protectors or wraparound plates. But do take a look at the balance of all the hardware that they have. Pivots, bolts, hinges, ladder poles, strike plates. They do a pretty good job of strike plates as well, especially extended lip strikes. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So a review quickly through their catalog, in my opinion, would be a good use of your time. The name Danjo is synonymous with those product categories that I just mentioned. You know, but they have other things that you may not be aware of, is what I'm driving at. Good quality company over there, a relatively petite footprint in the industry, but a very mature and diverse product line as well. Those people are old school hardware people. They know how their hardware is to be applied, installed. They can troubleshoot it. They can, you know, the person you speak to over there can do everything. Where's my stuff? How long is it going to take? What's it going to cost? I need help with my stuff, that kind of stuff, that kind of thing. Any questions on the BF161 and a DU finish or any other Danjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.